value from success, growth in discovery. Golden Arrow Resources is a well-funded gold-copper exploration company with proven management and prospective properties in Chile, Argentina, and Paraguay. Golden Arrow trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange, symbol GRG, on Frankfurt, symbol G6A, and the OTCQB, symbol GARWF. For more information, visit us at goldenarrowresources.com or call Sean at 778-686-0135.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sean Brodrick, senior editor at WeissRatings.com. Welcome back to the show, Sean.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Sean, what's going on with gold?
Well, gold is really coming to life. Late in November, it seemed to hit a bottom. And so it's heading higher. For a while, the miners were ignoring the good news, but they're finally playing catch-up. So that's good. Now, as we speak today, we are seeing gold miners underperform gold again. I hope they don't make a habit out of it. But, there's some real potential for some upside here if we get one of those Santa Claus rallies in the precious metals.
Now, Robinhood likes to list the top 100 stocks invested by their young and eager fans, and gold miners or gold never makes their top 100, or if it does, it's number 90, 100, 99, or 100. Gold hasn't been in favor with the millennials who like to use their handheld devices. Is that a factor in gold underperforming, at least the miners?
That's part of it. We also have to look at the outperformance in cannabis. I think that's attracting lots of hot money. We are also seeing outperformance in things like Bitcoin. So that's more hot money going for there. So I think the outperformance of some other markets is siphoning away the hot money that would usually slosh around in gold. Energy is also having a nice rebound, and on bad news, or what should be bad news. So again, there are factors that should push gold higher and gold miners even higher. Those factors are in play. We've seen some disappointing underperformance from the gold miners, but that's just short-term noise. I wouldn't worry about it that much. As long as the fundamentals continue to shift in the direction of gold, it'll all work out to the upside eventually, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And your advantage of gold over Bitcoin is even if the price goes down, you still have something in your hand you can sell. Bitcoin literally could disappear overnight.
Well, I've been having heated discussions with people online who insist that does not happen. But yes, that is one of my fears, that if I owned Bitcoin, I would somehow lose the drive it was on, and that would be the end of it. Or else my computer would get hacked, and I would lose it that way too. So for an old fart like me, there are good reasons to buy gold and not so much Bitcoin. But you can see why the young people who don't have any experience with things going wrong might choose Bitcoin instead.
Talking about the lack of fear factor, is that something for young traders? Because I have a true story passed on by one of our correspondents, Tim Cyclesman Wood. His neighbor's son was working part-time at a hardware store, and all of a sudden people are laid off, and he gets a big check from the government and decided to become a day trader. And so far he's been making a small fortune doing that. Is it going to be a sad tale if there's a downturn?
The odds favor that turning out to be a sad term, but I don't wish bad luck on anyone. Because thanks to the pandemic, we have a whole bunch of people in the market who never traded stocks before. That means they're only used to stocks going up. They've never seen them go down. They've certainly never been through a bear market, and that'll make you grow up in a hurry. So, there's probably, some hard times ahead for some people who don't learn to diversify, who don't learn to hedge their bets, who don't learn to keep at least some money in cash just for when you have a big sell-off. So, those are hard lessons, hard learned. Probably someone's going to have to learn those coming up. I'm old enough that it doesn't really bother me. I'm happy for young people who have no sense of like the risk they're running to make money. I do hope that they take some of that money off the table so they have something to crow about at the end of the day. You know, I'm just happy for people to make money, and I'm not going to be jealous of them at all. It's just I learned the hard way how that ends for me, and more than once. So I tend to stick to things that are a little more substantial.
We'll have more with Sean Brodrick right after this.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, recycling trade publications. Patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sean Brodrick. Sean, is the glow back on for uranium?
Yeah, well, here's, I've heard all these crazy theories on the internet. God, let me tell you, Twitter is both a blessing and a curse. Because, any crazy theory has, equal footing with anything that's well researched and like, you know. So it's hard to tell one from the other, but the latest news, which actually makes sense, is that Ukraine had to close down its uranium mines, which puts about 2 million pounds a year on. Not a lot, but, you know, the prices are made on the margins. And also, Cameco has had 2 incidents of the coronavirus at its Cigar Lake mine. If they have one more incident, that's going to force some kind of action. So people can see what happened in Ukraine. They can see the risk that we could see something from Cameco, and so prices of the miners are really starting to respond. They've had a good week. And so I'm already long uranium. I'm also in a show me kind of mood. I mean, how long have we been told that these stocks are going to blast off to the moon? So I'm trying to not just buy things willy-nilly, trying to, you know, be very specific in like what I buy and set reasonable expectations. That said, you and I both know that in the uranium bull market, especially because of the tight supply-demand situation that we know exists, especially because of that, these things can blast off. So we just have to be careful, but realize that the opportunity is there. So I don't think you should be sitting this market out. You definitely want to be in it to win it. I just don't think you should, you know, dump off most of your portfolio into uranium at this time.
Is oil holding its own or picking up?
Oil's doing very well, considering the parade of, like, supposedly bearish news we're seeing coming out of OPEC Plus about increasing production in January, and, like, this and that, lower demand due to the pandemic, and oil is holding over 40 quite fine. And the stocks are starting to respond lately. Luckily, I've been adding some of those various portfolios, kind of happy about that. And, you know, we'll just keep running with this. Oil's certainly doing better than I might have thought it would have do a while ago, especially, by the way, when you see the tremendous switch that's happening right now, the switch to electric vehicles. In, like, China, the numbers are just off the charts. Now, that doesn't mean oil demand's going to go away. But, again, prices are made on the margins. People discount the future. You think that might have the potential to hurt the prices of oil and of those companies involved with it and stuff, but that's not the case at all. It's those stocks are doing very well, or at least the ones that I'm following, in the face of bad news, and that's one of the things I look for investing. When a thing goes up, when the news is bad, then that's a good time to be buying it.
We'll have more with Sean Brodrick right after the break.
Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlan, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sean Brodrick. Sean, what's going on with cannabis?
Subscribers to my Marijuana Millionaire portfolio last Friday bank gains of 100%, 106%, and I think 108%, along with smaller gains. So things are going great. That said, this week, we're seeing some give back. I'm not sure if it's just a short-term pullback after that amazing run, or if we're seeing some kind of seasonal thing. This market's still so new, it's hard to say what's seasonal and what isn't it? So we'll see how things go. But I'm very happy with how the cannabis stocks are doing. I have a couple portfolios that hold them. They're doing fantastic. So I have no complaints there whatsoever. And again, if people aren't in this market, they are kind of missing out. They should look at pullbacks as a time to get in. And what are we having now? We're having a pullback. I'm not saying you should buy, but you should at least have a shopping list ready. And, we'll just see how this goes. But yeah, it really has been a parade of good news for the cannabis stocks. We just had good election results where a whole bunch of states legalized. More states are about to legalize this year. The Biden administration is reportedly going to be more friendly toward the business of cannabis. And there's some other things as well. So put those together and things look pretty good for select cannabis stocks. There's still plenty of dogs out there. Avoid those, but the good ones can run.
When you're taking a look at cannabis stocks, what do you look at? The management, their sales record, their potential, or is it the usual check out everything?
Well, they need, for me, to have a pathway to profitability. And they have to not be doing stupid things. It's amazing how some smart people in management can do very stupid things. When all the big Canadian producers were building greenhouse after greenhouse after greenhouse, I was being the crank at the party saying, this is insane. They're building all these expensive greenhouses. They'll never be able to make their money on that. Now, what have we come to? We've come where they had to sell one after the other because it just wasn't going to work out. If you looked at it in any rational sense when they were doing this, of course it wasn't going to work out. So, you have to have management that makes rational choices and has a plan for profitability. I'm not saying they have to have something unique. It is a weed, after all. But, what is their plan? How are they going to become profitable? And if their plan is just to keep doing it until they get bought out, that is not a good plan. Now, maybe they're going to specialize. Maybe they want to do premium cannabis, which is a growing part of the market and really sucking up more and more consumer dollars. That's not a bad place to go. Or else maybe they have some other plan, CBD seems to have gotten oversaturated, and so that market got hurt really badly. But you know what? I just booked, in my own personal portfolio, a nice chunk of change on a CBD producer so you can make money there as well. So, you just have to be really selective and just see, does the company have a plan? What's their plan? How are they going to become profitable? That's what I'm really worried about whenever I look at any of these things.
Any other areas that we should be keeping an eye on right now that maybe perhaps other people haven't been looking at?
Well, platinum's red hot. Dang, it's looking good. Palladium doesn't look bad either. So, and I always have my hopes that silver will get the 1-2 boost from the demand for like precious metals, but also industrial metals. I mean, we know how hot copper is, right? That's an industrial metal. That's why copper is doing so well. It's because China needs a lot more of it. Well, silver is also an industrial metal. It's used in all sorts of processes. So if you like copper, you might want to give a glance to silver. It's dirt cheap, and things could do really well there. But, you know, I think people should look at the industrial metals. I guess that's really where I'm going with this. They've had a good run, but we're probably still early stages on this. And especially as people start to get the vaccine for COVID-19, which then opens the door to a global economic recovery, industrial metals is one of the groups that should do very well.
Sean, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thanks. It was great.
My guest has been Sean Brodrick, Senior Editor at WeissRatings.com. And Sean, maybe remind our listeners of some of the other newsletters that you editor?
Well, they can always read my free stuff at wealth-wave.com. I have free columns 3 times a week. And then you can look for Wealth Megatrends, which is my monthly newsletter. It's an introductory newsletter, dirt cheap, but we've had some really good successes in the past year, and I hope to have more going forward. That's enough. If I give more than that, they'll just forget. But those two are 2 good places to start.
Sean, thanks again.
Thank you.
My guest, Sean Brodrick, Senior Editor at WeissRatings.com. If you have any questions for Sean or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@HowStreet.com, our YouTube channel, Talk Digital Network. Find us on Twitter at HowStreet. We're also on Facebook. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.